Hello, welcome to my channel. Enjoy your viewing and have a good romantic mood. In a quiet village, where life flowed unhurriedly, like a river on a hot summer day, lived an 18-year-old girl named Darina. Her life was filled with work and care. From early morning, she helped her stepmother around the household, and during the day, she worked at the local market to sell the vegetables and fruits they grew. Darina didn't remember her biological mother, as she passed away when she was very young. Her life with her stepmother and her daughter was not easy. They spared her neither harsh words nor hard work. One day, as Darina was returning from the market, a stranger approached her. He introduced himself as a lawyer and delivered shocking news. Darina was the daughter of Andrei Kravchenko, a well-known oligarch. This news turned Darina's life upside down. She couldn't believe she was the heiress of a wealthy family, having lived in poverty all her life. The lawyer handed her a letter from her father, in which he asked her to come to him. Darina hesitated. On one hand, she was curious to see her father, whom she had never known. On the other hand, she was afraid to leave her familiar life and enter a world of luxury and wealth she could only dream of. Summoning her courage, Darina decided to go to her father. She was curious why he had abandoned her and how he lived. The journey to the big city seemed like a fairy tale to her. She had never seen such big cities, such luxurious cars, such expensive shops. Her expectations were met. Andrei Kravchenko's house was a real palace. It was surrounded by a high fence, guarded by security guards, and inside, an atmosphere of luxury and wealth prevailed. Darina met her father. He was not at all like she had imagined him. He was old, sick, and very tired. Andrei Kravchenko told her why he had left her. He was afraid for her life, as his business was associated with great risks. He hired people to watch over her and her mother, but kept his distance. Darina listened to him with a mixture of anger, disappointment, and sympathy. On one hand, she couldn't forgive him for leaving her, but on the other hand, she understood that he acted out of the best intentions. After meeting her father, Darina returned to the village. It was difficult for her to readjust to her old life. She couldn't get rid of the thought of the luxury she had seen in her father's house. One day, Darina met Maxim at the market, a handsome guy she had liked for a long time. They talked, and Darina told him about her meeting with her father. Maxim listened to her attentively and reassured her. He said that the most important thing was that she found herself, her family. Darina realized he was right. She didn't need luxurious palaces and wealth. She needed simple human relationships, warmth, and love, which she found in this quiet village. Darina decided to stay in the village. She shared her plans with her stepmother and her daughter. They were surprised but didn't object to her decision. Perhaps, deep down, they even felt a little relieved. Darina was no longer a burden to them but, on the contrary, a potential source of financial assistance they had never hinted at. Several weeks passed. Darina helped her Aunt Varvara around the household. They took care of the garden and the orchard together. In the evenings, they gathered on the porch, drank tea, and talked about everything in the world. Maxim often came to help them, and Darina felt her heart beat faster when he was around. He was kind, hard-working, and had a cheerful disposition that always lifted her spirits. One day, as Darina was picking strawberries, her father's lawyer called her. He informed her that Andrei Kravchenko's condition had worsened, and he was asking her to come again. Darina's heart sank. She really didn't want to return to that cold, luxurious house. But the thought of her sick father troubled her deeply. Maxim, as she said when he approached her, I need to go again. My father is not well. Maxim frowned. He understood it was important to her, but he didn't like the idea of her being immersed in a world that was so foreign to her. Go, he finally said. Just promise me you'll come back. This is your home, Darina. Darina hugged him tightly. These warm embraces meant more to her than all the treasures in the world. Returning to the big city felt oppressive. The luxurious house seemed alien and unwelcoming again. Andrei Kravchenko looked even worse, emaciated, with dark circles under his eyes. He weakly smiled when he saw Darina. You came back, he whispered. Thank you. Darina sat by his bedside. She no longer felt anger or resentment. Instead, she felt a strange mixture of sympathy and sorrow. The next few days passed quietly. Darina read her father's books, talked about life in the village, about Maxim and Aunt Varvara. Sometimes, Alexei, Andrei Kravchenko's son from another marriage, visited. He tried to cheer up his father, but their relationship seemed strained to Darina. One evening, after Alexei left, Andrei Kravchenko gathered his remaining strength and spoke. Hey Darina, his voice was barely audible. There's something I need to tell you. He revealed that a will had been made long ago, and the main part of the inheritance was going to Alexei. But there was another part, a small cozy house by the sea, where he once dreamed of living with her mother. It's yours, he whispered. A place where you could be happy. Darina was silent, struck by his words. It wasn't the inheritance she had expected, but it held a special value, a memory of her mother and her father's dreams. The next morning, Andrei Kravchenko passed away. Darina cried, bidding him farewell. These were tears not so much for the father she barely knew, but for the lost opportunities, for the happy life they could have had together. After the funeral, Darina returned to the village. She shared the news about the little house with Maxim and Aunt Varvara. They were genuinely happy for her, although they felt a little sad that she might leave them. Perhaps, that place by the sea is a beautiful memory of your mother, Aunt Varvara said, sadly flipping through an old photo album. But always remember, Darina, that here is your home, and you are always welcome with us. Maxim remained silent, thoughtfully twirling a straw blade in his hands. Darina saw how difficult this decision was for him, but he never tried to limit her. I don't know what to do, Darina confessed, feeling tears welling up in her eyes. On one hand, it's the little house by the sea, the only thing left from my parents. On the other hand, my life, my heart is here, with you. Aunt Varvara leaned in and hugged Darina. Don't rush with decisions, dear, she whispered. Go there, see what the place is like. Perhaps, you could sell it and invest the money into something here, with us. The idea seemed right to Darina. She didn't crave luxury. She needed a place where she could feel calm and happy. And what could be better than a cozy village surrounded by loving people? The decision came naturally. Darina realized she didn't want the luxurious life she had never desired. She wanted warmth, sincerity, and the love she found here, in this quiet village. A week later, Darina was already heading to the seaside. The trip was long and tiring, but she couldn't shake off the feeling of something new. Finally, she saw the little house. It was small, wooden, with faded blue paint. It stood on a hill, offering a magnificent view of the endless blue sea. Darina went inside. The house was old but cozy. Antique furniture filled the rooms, and paintings of seascapes adorned the walls. There was a special aura in this place, the smell of the sea mixed with the scent of old wood. After inspecting the house, Darina realized she didn't need to live here. This place was a memory of her parents, and she didn't want to destroy it. She posted an advertisement for selling the house online. A few days later, a man called who had long been looking for such a place for his family. They quickly agreed on the price, and within a week, Darina received the money. Back in the village, Darina gathered everyone for dinner and announced her news. She told them about selling the house and showed them the money she received. "I want to invest this money in developing a small farm," she said, looking at Maxim. "Here, next to your house. We could grow vegetables and fruits together, sell them at the market." Maxim smiled broadly. He liked this idea. "It's a wonderful idea, Darina." Aunt Varvara supported her. "We've always dreamed of expanding our farm a little." So they decided. Darina, along with Maxim and Aunt Varvara, got to work. They bought seeds, fertilizers, and set up new beds. Life was tough. They had to work hard, wake up early, and toil until sunset. But Darina was happy. She felt like she was truly putting down roots for the first time. She worked side by side with Maxim, and their work brought them even closer. They laughed, joked, and helped each other. Eventually, their farm started to bring in a decent income. They grew organic vegetables and fruits that were in demand at the local market. People appreciated their produce for its freshness and naturalness. One sunny morning, as Darina was harvesting tomatoes, a woman with an interesting face and attentive eyes approached them. She introduced herself as Alina Petrovna, the owner of a small French cuisine restaurant. Alina Petrovna tasted their vegetables and fruits and was thrilled. "Your products have an incredible taste," she said. "They would be a perfect fit for the dishes in my restaurant." She offered them a collaboration, regular supplies of vegetables and fruits to her establishment. Darina and Maxim happily agreed. It was their chance to reach a new level. The partnership with the restaurant became a breakthrough for them. Their produce was in high demand, as restaurant visitors appreciated its high quality. Darina and Maxim began to expand their farm. They purchased new equipment and rented additional land. Along with this, their personal lives were changing. They no longer hid their feelings. Maxim confessed his love to Darina, and she reciprocated. Their evenings now passed in shared conversations and dreams of the future. One warm evening, sitting on the porch under the chirping of birds, Maxim pulled out a velvet box from his pocket and, kneeling down, asked Darina to be his wife. Tears welled up in Darina's eyes. She had never been happier. "Yes, Maxim," as she whispered, throwing her arms around him. Darina and Maxim's wedding became a true village celebration. All the villagers gathered to share their joy. Tables were overflowing with food, merry music filled the air, and guests danced until dawn. After the wedding, Darina's life became even more fulfilling. She combined work on the farm with family responsibilities. Soon, she and Maxim became parents. They had a charming daughter whom they named Sophia. Darina no longer regretted learning the truth about her origins. This path led her to true love, a real family, a life she truly cherished. She realized that true wealth is not money but love, close people, and the opportunity to do what brings you joy. Sometimes, in the evenings, sitting by the fireplace with Maxim and little Sophia in her arms, Darina remembered her father. She forgave him all the offenses and regretted that they never truly got to know each other. But she knew he was watching her from heaven, proud of her strength, kindness, and happiness. Years passed. Darina and Maxim's farm flourished. They grew not only vegetables and fruits, but also expanded their range to include various herbs and medicinal plants. Their produce was in high demand not only in Alina Petrovna's restaurant, but also among local residents and private clinics specializing in natural treatment methods. One day, a stranger visited them. The woman was elegant, with a sharp, intelligent gaze. She introduced herself as Irina, the director of a well-known Kiev-based company specializing in the production of organic food products. After tasting their produce, Irina was impressed by its quality and the unique soil composition on which everything was grown. She offered Darina and Maxim a collaboration, growing organic products for their company. The offer was tempting but also daunting in scale. Darina and Maxim understood that significant investments and farm expansion would be needed to reach a new level. They deliberated for a long time, discussing all the pros and cons. Aunt Varvara came to their aid. She offered them to use part of the money she had been saving all her life for a rainy day. Don't be afraid to take risks, kids, she said, gently patting Darina's hand. The main thing is to do what you believe in, and I'll always be there beside you, supporting you. After much deliberation, Darina and Maxim agreed to collaborate with Irina. They took out a loan to develop the farm, purchased new equipment, and hired additional workers. The following years were filled with challenges and excitement. They learned to work with large volumes of produce, maintain high-quality standards, and organize logistics. But thanks to their hard work, mutual support, and wise advice from Aunt Varvara, they managed to establish a successful business. Their farm's produce was now supplied not only to the Kiev-based company, but also to many health food stores worldwide. Darina and Maxim became not only successful farmers, but also true community leaders. They helped other villagers transition to organic farming, conducted workshops, and shared their experience. Once, at an international organic products exhibition, a man approached their stand. He carefully examined their produce and then asked, Darina Kravchenko? Darina was surprised. She recognized this man. It was Alexei, her half-brother. They talked. Alexei explained that he managed the family business, but had always dreamed of something of his own related to the land. Darina invited him to visit their farm. During the visit, Alexei was impressed by the scale of their operation and their business philosophy. After this meeting, their relationship began to improve. Alexei often visited them, and eventually, they became true siblings. He even invested in the development of their farm, becoming their partner. Several more years passed. Darina and Maxim lived a happy family life. Their daughter Sophia grew up and began to help them on the farm. They were proud that they had taught her to value working the land, respect nature, and live in harmony with it. Darina never forgot her past. And when she had a free moment, she would sit at the old writing desk that once belonged to her father and write. She wrote the story of her life, a story of how a poor village girl became a successful farmer, about love, loss, family values, and, of course, about the strength of the land, which always supported her. One evening, when the autumn storm raged outside the window and the fireplace crackled cozily, Darina read aloud the chapters she had written to her husband and daughter. "Mama, will you write about how you met Daddy?" Sophia asked, her eyes shining with curiosity. Maxim smiled. He had heard this story many times before, but he always enjoyed hearing it again. Darina stroked her daughter's head. "Of course, Sophiichko," she replied. That will be a very important chapter. After all, it was because of that meeting that you came into the world." And she began to tell the story of how she went to the big city, how she met Maxim, how they built their life and their farm together. She spoke with warmth in her voice, and it seemed that every word of her story was permeated with love for this land, for her family, and for the life that, despite all the difficulties, had given her so much. Thank you for being with us today. I hope that this story has brought you emotions. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel, and click on the bell so you don't miss any of our new stories. Thank you for your support. You are the best.